Well, hello everyone. Just as I was starting to record this, you can see his tail, and you can hear him shake. My hound dog Cooper came in. He's camera shy. I don't know if you can really see it. There he is. Look at that handsome boy. Oh, and the background has changed. You see up there. Bless my mom and sister, and I mean this genuinely. That's an autographed Ric Flair framed poster that they found for me and wanted me to have. So I now have a whole Ric Flair shrine up in the office up here. The reason it's in the office and not the man layer is I hardly spend any time down in the man layer anymore. I spend 99.8% of it up here. So, anywho, nobody likes to either admit they were wrong. Maybe it's easier to say we changed our opinions on things. And so this is the first in a series of perhaps musical mea culpas because I'm going to go back over the Life Will Kill You record by Warren Zevon. And when I did my Zevon album ranking several years ago, I put it as dead last. And so it's revisiting, it's a reevaluation of it. It's crazy how time and perspective and life experience will change your listening experience, right? And I said it at the time, I just never really connected with it, and I wasn't crazy about some of the songs. But I have to tell you, I think it was this past year, either last September when I had my full Zivanathon, or I had a mini one. I took a half day on January 24th of this past year to have a mini Zivanathon on what would have been Warren's birthday. Um, and I was only intending on listening to a handful of songs, and I had the CD, and I've had the CD for quite some time. This was his first on Artemis Records, and criminally, this says the Artemis Special Value Series, meaning I probably got this for like $8 or something when I was completing my collection. Warren had sort of notoriously been dropped by Giant Records in '95. He put out a really underrated gem, a Dark Horse record called um, Mutineer, and Giant dropped him while he was on tour supporting it. So that was really crappy of them. So he ended up. Artemis Records was founded as a small independent label, and he knew people there, and they were able to get him a record contract. And so he had labored over these songs for years. And I have to tell you, there's still one I'm not crazy on, and we'll get to that. Um, this is not necessarily going to be in my top three or four, but this is you know what? This is now gone just from listening and life and everything else, and really giving it a chance. This is top half of the catalog. This was there were 12 official studio records, and this is number 10. It was released January 25th, 2000. And yeah, I'm looking at notes because I wanted to get this right. Um, one day after Warren's 53rd birthday, he was born January 24th, 1947. So he just turned 53. He was really hoping this would be a comeback record, and it hit a number 160 or 70 something in the Billboard Top 200. It barely made a blip and left. Made number 8 on the independent music charts. Um, his career was not the lowest perhaps it had ever been, but he was playing dinner clubs and that kind of thing, which is just tragic given the talent that Warren, of course, had. So I'm not going to wax poetic about Warren and his genius and everything else. I've done that in so many videos, and I probably will again. But what I will say is, and I did catch some hell on my on the comments section and with people I've talked to over the years. They say, "How could you not rate this higher?" Well, you know what? I'm after reevaluating and listening, and I've been listening to maybe an unhealthy amount of Zevon lately. I've especially ever since it was announced he'd go into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame under the musical influence category, um, or musical excellence. I've really been listening to a lot of Zevon, and I decided. being the collector I am, and with the curse being real, I had every studio record in one format or another, either CD or vinyl. Many in both. I try from one Zivanathon to the next. I try and collect things that I didn't have. I decided that I should have, if it's available on vinyl and CD, that I should have a copy on each format. And so, just about a month and a half ago, I procured this online from a record store in Chicago, uh, and I shipped to Shore. No, Ship to Shore is the label that put this back out. This is the remaster, and it has a different back cover than the original. Zevon was notoriously obsessive compulsive, and he only wore gray for a lot of years. And he would flip through the same gray shirts and say, "Oh, that one's not lucky." But it was the same size, the same make, etc. And he was very particular about picking that out. Anyway, this has a different back cover photo, and it has the entire track list because there's a song on here. It was Zeman always flirted with death, right? He always sort of talked about it and joked about it and had his doomsday dark sense of humor about it. And the next year after this was released, or the year after, I mean, or 2 years later, he was diagnosed with incurable lung cancer. But anyway, the theme of death on here is prevalent. I was in the house when the house burned down, which was a minor hit. Zevon fans quite liked it. Life will kill you, um, and then the profane title really doesn't do justice to the lyrical brilliance of "My Shit's Fucked Up." And I don't curse a lot on here, but I'm quoting the actual song. And, I went to the doctor. I was feeling kind of rough. He said, "Let me break it to you, son. Your shit's fucked up." He said, "My shit's fucked up." "I don't see how." He said, "The shit that used to work won't work now." And it goes on to talk about, it doesn't matter whether you're rich, poor, what's your social status, the Reaper's going to get you in the end. And then the last song on here is just absolutely brilliant, called "Don't Let Us Get Sick." And I have to tell what got me back into this record, or what really got me into this record, was a song I may not have originally liked because he sang it in such a high register. Track number 4 on here. Oh, by the way, "My Shit's Fucked Up," not listed on the back of the CD. It actually goes from track 8 to 10. Um, and he had his old friend Jorge Calderon, old comrade in arms from the 70s and early 80s, co-wrote uh, two of my favorite songs on here, "Porcelain Monkey," which Jorge got the idea. Well, he mentioned the phrase "porcelain monkey" from when he had been to Graceland and seen one sitting in Elvis's collection, and then trying to grab "A Fistful of Rain," and that's just a beautiful song on here. And they co-wrote those. Jorge plays bass. A bunch of studio musicians. This was recorded in '99 at Warren's home studio, which I guess somehow I never realized was called "Anatomy of a Headache." And I thought, how Zevon could that be? How Zevon-esque is that name? Um, and so anyway, the track listing on here is "I Was in the House When the House Burned Down," "Life Will Kill You," "Porcelain Monkey," and the song that I was getting to for "My Next Trick I'll Need a Volunteer." It starts out with the lyrics, "I can saw a woman in two, but you won't want to look in the box when I'm through." Oh my word. That's one of the most brilliant opening lines I've ever heard. "I can make love disappear. For my next trick I'll need a volunteer." Man, just wow. Just I don't know. I would put that in the top 5 opening lines of any Zevon songs from his entire career. Um, "I'll Slow You Down." In other words, "I'm Not Good Enough for You." "Hostage O" is great. "Dirty Little Religion," I could kind of take or leave. However, he wanted to do this to try and get mainstream attention. He covered Steve Winwood's "Back in the High Life Again." I'm not a huge fan of that song to begin with, so Warren doing it, I could take or leave. It's all right. Um, the beautiful "Fistful of Rain." Um, and then "Ourselves to Know," which it starts out you know, let me pull it out here. We left Constantinople in 1099 to restore the one true cross was in this heart of mine. To bring it to Jerusalem and then sail home to Rhodes, we took that holy road ourselves to know. We took that holy road ourselves to know. Everyone got famous, everyone got rich, everyone went off the rails and ended in the ditch. But we had to take that long, hard road to see where it would go. We took that holy road ourselves to know. Ah, man, just amazing. And then, the finish, the final song on here, don't let us get sick, don't let us get old, don't let us get stupid, all right? Just make us be brave and make us play nice and let us be together tonight. How I managed to overlook this album for so many years, and in this remaster, of course, you hear my pug yipping at somebody. There are liner notes by Jorge and a few of the people. Warren's son Jordan participated in the making of this. Um, yeah, so it's and it. I'm normally not a fan of colored vinyl, but it was the only version I could find online at a reasonable rate. It's kind of a cool gray swirl. They call it. Oh, I don't have the sticker on it, but it was like a smoking skull gray or something like that. So anyway, I just I decided I'd start doing this for albums that are generally accepted as being great or really good and embraced by a lot of people that I never could relate to. And there are a few more that I've done in my rankings that are now higher. So I didn't want to go back and redo the entire ranking. It was what it was for that. It's a snapshot in time whenever we do these videos, right? I mean, to those of you who make your own too, you understand. You think, oh, I should go back and I should revisit this. I put in such work for so many of those ranking videos that I'm proud of them, even though I disagree with my own rankings now. So this would most definitely be in the top six. Top one or two, no. Um, but I have been playing this album not just because I spent 30 some dollars on it to get it online, and that's at the very cheap end of things. And I've had the CD for years. Um, it was a criminally overlooked masterpiece in my collection, and so many of you out there enjoy that album. And I have to tell you, so many of the themes of getting older and loss and um, just it really resonates with me, and I know it does with you too. And that's why a lot of people, even though it wasn't very popular when it came out, it got almost no push because the record company had no money to promote it, and Zevon's career was, at the tail end. Uh, do yourselves a favor and check out "Life Will Kill You" by Warren Zevon. I have come to just so thoroughly enjoy it now. I can put that on any time and really get a kick out of it. And again, there's a couple of songs that I could take or leave. It's not a 10 out of 10 record, but you know what? I would give it a solid 8 out of 10. It's a darn solid album. So let me know what you think. If you haven't heard it, go listen to it and then tell me what you think because more than almost any video or ranking or album review, I really want to talk about this one. So I hope everybody's doing all right. I hope you take care of yourselves and keep the comments, please, respectful. Disagree, fine. But, don't be a jerk about it. So I hope everybody's doing all right. Take care of yourselves.